The thing is, as I was watching it, first of all, for the first 15 minutes, I couldn't understand what anyone was saying. Because, as you said, I've seen the Newt Gingrich debate strategy when he would attack the moderator. There is the attack the moderator strategy and try to litigate the moderator. This question was unfair. Why are you asking that, right? I've seen the strategy of try to belittle and throw your opponent off and get them to make a mistake. Trump used that in 2016 against Hillary Clinton. He would mock her and try to jump in and pivot in to try to get her to throw her off her game. There's all sorts of strategies. This was not, if it was a debate strategy, I'd be surprised. Maybe it was. It just seemed like a man who was out of control. That Donald Trump physically could not stand to hear truths about himself. I started writing down. I was trying to take notes like you. I started trying.
100 million
I tried.
Pre-existing conditions. Like, wait a second.
You tried,
that wasn't sarcastic.
Right, exactly. And he, when Joe Biden, and I thought his best moment was when he started talking about his son. He said, my son served his country, and he was not a loser, and he was not a sucker. This is a pretty moving moment. When it was a chance for the country to take a step back and listen to what he was saying about his son. Donald Trump physically couldn't let him get to the end of the sentence.
And he interjected, who is that?
Yeah,
who was that?
Exactly. And he thought, this is my chance to go after Hunter Biden. He wasn't talking about Hunter Biden. Right. He was talking about Beau Biden, who is dead. And Trump didn't even have the decency or respect for the humanity of the man standing on the stage with him to let him finish his thought about his son who is dead.
Yeah.
Because Donald Trump essentially was not there to display even being president. I mean, I started Googling the Lincoln Douglas debates, right? As I'm watching this, because I'm thinking to myself, we as a country were the established democracy after World War II. We were sort of the prima facie, we are democracy. We were going to demonstrate to other countries what it was about. And the idea of civilized debate, right, is such a core part of it. This was embarrassing for me. It was embarrassing. And somebody was tweeting, I hope the rest of the world wasn't watching.
Yeah.
Watching us become this. This was not a debate. It might have been a strategy to just don't let Biden say anything that's negative. As soon as he starts talking, dive in there and get it. But it was a strategy that
it was a display.
It was a display.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.